Wow, what an interesting day. I don't know how to sum it up, to be honest. Been a mixed bag, as they say. Plenty of controversies, some unusual reactions from the local community. I must stress that it's only a small minority of people that I've noticed that are acting in what I would say a very unreasonable, illogical, irrational way. I understand you don't see eye to eye.
Don't speak to me, yeah.
Hey?
Don't speak to me, mate. No, mate, I know he works for you in Cuadrilla, that's all. Ask him who's paying him. I've asked him who's paying him, he won't tell me.
I'm just looking to see if he's got any C4 in that pack.
Down there is the guy that organised it. Now it's obviously he's part of the control opposition of Extinction Rebellion. He's just put the flags up. That guy there is the organiser. He's even got the Extinction Rebellion badge on. Extinction Rebellion just been given £500,000 by the Gettys. £500,000, yeah, from the oil and gas industry to stop us. That's what this is about.
And you have been asked already, you're in the road on the cycle lane.
It's important.
It's full of shit, mate, it works for Cuadrilla.
And how do you know that? Can you tell me?
He said he's full of shit, he works for Cuadrilla.
I understand you're part of XR Rebellion. XR, Extinction
Yes.
Rebellion. Could you just tell me a bit more about it and why they're here?
This is
No,
Gayzer's
we're
chat,
not.
by the way.
We're not. Yeah, we're not. We're not part of anything.
All right, okay.
We're Green Party, aren't we?
Green Party. Can you tell me about the Green Party then?
No,
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find out. Just
Do
go on
some
the website.
research.
Yeah.
There you go.
What
Go on the
do you want to
website.
research?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
No,
Intelligence.
I'm on now.
Any opinions you want to share on this matter?
No.
No. What about what he's doing at the gate? Do you agree with
No
that?
idea. What's he doing?
He's staging a protest.
Why?
Have you asked him?
No. I'm not really interested in what he does.
So it started with Gayzer Frackman. He was on top of a vehicle when I arrived. And it looks like his protest is on his own, basically, because when I spoke to people and asked their opinion on what they thought about his action outside the gates, nobody wanted to give an opinion. So when I asked them, basically, do you agree with what he's doing today? I just don't get it. I don't know what makes a difference between them themselves doing it and Gayzer doing it. You know, there's too many problems going on at the moment, and I just find it illogical, irrational, unreasonable. All this camera blocking. I mean, there's me, I'm just trying to document what's going on. This lady had come all the way from Carlisle, apparently, from what I understood. I was happily just recording her a message. One came over to block the camera, and that was an XR. Well, something to do with XR. He was just a bit ignorant and a bit arrogant. He just preferred to stand in front of my camera while I recorded this lady's message. I don't understand why one person was able to record it, but they thought standing in front of my camera was a reasonable, logical thing to do. I just thought it made them look bad. It's not what they do, from what I understand. And the lady said herself, they're not violent, which, okay, it weren't violent, but it was a little bit aggressive. You know, standing in front of my camera, if they want to do that, that's their problem. They just make themselves look like what they do. They show themselves up to be what they are. It's like a little clique, to be honest. That's what I've come to understand now. I'm not sure about the logic behind Extinction Rebellion. The logic behind it doesn't seem to make sense, that they want people to be arrested, because it's never going to happen. I mean, it's my understanding that Roger Allen, I've been told, might be hearsay, that he studied about how gullible people can be. Hey, do you know what? If that's true, it's true. If it's false, it's false. I don't care. At the end of the day, there's just some unreasonable actions taking place. What I find also a little bit strange, I'll just stop here and make this recording. I find it's a bit like a pack of dogs, I'm going to call it. because that's what dogs do. They gang up on you. When one does it, they all come and they all start ganging. So as I'm trying to record, I heard people in the background saying, "Where's Gayzer's supporters?" And do you know what? I understand why he's on his own. Because if they're going to treat people the way they treat myself, for instance, I don't care what they think about what I do. If they're going to treat people that way, that's not a true representation of democracy, freedom. You know, people's rights are being stifled by a small minority of people. And I didn't know some of these people till recently by name. There's one individual called Cliff. I met Cliff a couple of weeks ago and I asked him if he wanted to speak on camera. And he didn't. I said, "Do you want to give an audio recording?" And he was going to. But then Tina Rothery, I must admit, I witnessed this for myself. She was stood 2 feet away saying no. Because what I do is not very helpful. Well, not always. Anyway, putting that to one side, I don't get why Tina, on that occasion, wanted to say, "Don't speak." Because all I was asking for was his opinion about fracking and what he was doing there. However, it turns out later on, when there was a bit of activity going on, that when Gayzer was giving his speech and Gail Bradbrook, she was giving her speech, that Gayzer's speech, should we say, was interrupted by people banging drums, blowing whistles. And, you know, I get why they do it, but at the same time, Gayzer did offer the chance that he wouldn't interrupt their speech if they didn't interrupt his speech and Julian Brock's speech. But, you know, it didn't happen. As soon as Gayzer mentioned XR Rebellion, the drums started banging, the whistles started blowing, and it was just a bit silly in my opinion. They should have respected his view, whether they agreed with it or not, because he then returned his compliment back, so he treated them the way he was treated, should I say. So Gayzer then went on to, well, basically interrupt Gail's speech, should I say. Yeah, Gail's speech was interrupted by Gayzer. But yeah, it is what it is. People do what they do. People believe in what they believe. And some people just do what they're told. Yeah, I've got to say that. I've witnessed it. Some people down at PNR, a small minority who claim to be locals, which some of them are acting like they have no voice and they're just doing what they're told. And that's my experience. But in my opinion, I do believe you should go down and experience it for yourself. Don't even take a camera. Just go and watch how people act. I've got to say that because it's surprising. It really is. Anyway, what should I say? Gayzer's there on top of the car and he's giving his views and opinions to people who wanted to listen. There were people listening. I don't know how many people kept quiet and supported Gayzer secretly, but there certainly were some people down there who stayed quiet and didn't get involved. And some of those people, I didn't want to approach them because I kind of see the nods and the hand gestures. You know, I've turned my back round and I've turned around and seen people waving their hands saying, gesturing, "Don't talk, don't talk." I don't get it. Why not? Why are you controlling these people? It's silly. They're adults. But some of them actually behave like children. You know what? That's their opinion and that's the way they would do things, and that doesn't really bother me. It's interesting how I was told I was not welcome down there. To be honest, that doesn't really bother me. Welcome or not, I still go down there when I want. You know, the videos are already up there to show what I have done in the past. And just because I video recorded someone exercising their freedom of speech, whether people agreed with it or not, just because someone disagreed with what I did, gosh, it didn't have spread like wildfire. Oh, don't talk to him, blah, 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 blah. Do you know what? It's fine. I'm not there for you if you're going to be like that. I'm there for people who want to see what's going on. And those people who watch what's going on, they're interested. They're very much interested in stopping fracking. They want to see the true fight. They're not really wanting to see people falling out. They don't want to see silly behaviour amongst each other. What is wrong with some of you people? You know, what can I say? Some of you people, you need to give your head a wobble, you know, and put it back on, your shoulders straight. Sort yourself out. What can I say? It's a little bit frustrating, I must admit, when people stand in front of you. But that poor lady from Carlisle, she was giving a speech, coming across very well. Whether people agree with her or not, you know, she has a right to speak, and she also has a right to say she doesn't want to be recorded. Well, she never told me that she didn't want recording, and I did go up eventually and ask her, does she want me to stop? I didn't get an answer from her. The thing is, I kind of looked like I was interrupting what she was saying, but the truth of the matter is, when you watch this video, you can see that everybody's standing in front of me and blocking what she's saying, blocking me from recording what she's saying. I don't get it. I don't get it. Well, on second thoughts, I don't get it. It's just a bit silly, really, isn't it? So, I'm like anyone else. I'll stand up for my rights. If you don't believe I've got any, you carry on the way you are. If you don't want to conduct yourself in a better manner, that's your problem, not mine. I want to address something now. Last time I was here, I saw a lot of illegal activity. People were stealing from Gayzer. Whether they agree with them or not, there are better ways to do things to get your message across. And if anybody wants to break the law, what are you doing breaking the law in front of a camera? Are you stupid? You know, I've got to say it, you know, it's silly. Anyway. Are you stupid is a good question, actually. No, I don't believe you are stupid, but I'm going to say this. You acting like you're stupid. Yeah, that's a fair comment, based on what I've seen. If you're going to act like that, and act to look like you're stupid, it's safe to assume you could be stupid. Otherwise, why do it in public? If you don't agree with someone, find a better way of doing it. Find a logical answer and a reasonable excuse to do what you do. You know, a reasonable reason, should I say, not an excuse. Because everybody's got a reason to do what they do. Even I've got a reason to do what I do, whether you agree with it or not. To be honest, this isn't for you. This is for the other people. And those people are the ones who know I'm talking about. So why not pop by for a brew sometime? There's plenty going on at PNR.
No, I will move when I finish my row of knickers.
So you're making a scarf?
It is going to be a scarf, yes, actually. It is.
How long is it going to be? 6 months?
Well, no, it's Mary's in charge. I've been delegated that Mary's in charge, and it's
There's going to be a
3
police cordon put on here. So are you willing to move, please?
Is that police cordon in place now?
Will you take that?
Hello, you all right?
Yes, indeed.
When we're asking people to go over,
Yeah.
if you can observe from that side,
No
that'll be
problem.
fantastic. Thank you
When
very
you
much.
put your cordon up, which is in about 10 minutes, isn't it? I'll go over the other side. Is that all right?
Okay, yeah, as soon as people are moving here, that's when
I'll
we're
just
going to
get
be
a
asking
quick
you to
word
move.
before we go.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep. There's a police cordon coming up soon, so is there anything you want to say while you're up here?
Simply to see Francis Egan face to face.
Has he not come out yet?
He hasn't come out. 2 weeks now I've been requesting that he sees us in a studio. There's no negotiation now of being in a building. Now we want him on Channel 4. We want Francis Egan to face people like me, houses that he damaged, and our experts. Because we're sick of him being in the BBC by himself, not speaking to anybody, not being cross-examined by our experts, and just being allowed to get away and say exactly what he wants. We want him to explain the lies. One lie being, he said there won't be any more earthquakes. That is now proven to be a lie. He's also said there's no water contamination.
Okay, sir, you're now stood in the road, okay, and there's vehicles coming, so you're a danger to yourself now. I'd like you to move over to the other side of the road for your own safety.
Yeah, I will do.
Thank you.
Why is there a police cordon going up?
It's not my
Has that
fault
not
to
been
make that,
explained
mate.
to you already?
Not really, because I mean I can understand there's a police line, but obviously if I stand safely on the other side of the line, that shouldn't be a problem, should it?
Well, then you'll be in the road, won't you?
No, not really, because that.
If you look where the police line is, it's in the cycle lane.
So I could actually stand beside that police officer over there, really, couldn't I?
Well, no, because for safety of the public, we're asking people to stand over here on the other side of the road.
Which
so
public is that?
Well, yourself. Your camera will be as good as ours, won't it? And be able to still pick up exactly what's going on that side of the road.
You've not got a bad mic there, actually.
Exactly. No, yours is bigger.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, the closer you are, the better the sound. You'll probably understand that, won't you?
You can use a directional, though, can't you?
Yeah. But to be honest, I think we can pick up good sound from here.
Yeah,
especially with that.
Your directional will be able to pick up exactly what's being said over there, won't it? Same as ours.
But the closer you get, the better the quality.
But then you lose your
wide angle.
Your wide angle.
I've got a wide angle. Is yours wider than mine?
I don't know. Possibly.
Should we compare angles? Can I just ask you, do you agree with what he's doing here?
No, you can't ask me.
Well, I just asked you, do you agree?
I'm not commenting to you, so go away, please.
Can I just say something?
You can, yeah.
The gentleman on top of the vehicle over there, Mr. Frackman, has actually driven down here in a car that has no MOT.
Oh, right.
And we've informed the police.
And what are they doing about it, did they say?
Yeah, they're going to sort it out, so he's not going to have a car to drive home to. See how he likes being on the other end of people giving information to the police?
Yeah. Can I just ask you, do you agree what he's doing at the gate? No comment. Oh, fair enough.
Do you like it, mate? PR as well.
What we're going to do is slowly phase out Green Mondays to give everybody a chance to draw breath, recuperate, so that if by any chance they're ever given permission to come and start working, we are fresh and ready to roll out what we've been doing for over 2 years. And so in line with that, we do have a Green Monday speaker on Monday the 30th of September. It's somebody who was in my local Green Party. Then obviously he didn't think there were enough criminals in Keswick, so he's gone down to Brighton where there are a few more. But he's also part now of Sea Shepherds. So there's somebody else again who's quite prepared to put themselves on the line when it comes to breaking the law. And we also have a Green Monday speaker on Monday the 21st of October. And this is Martin Porter from Manchester Greenpeace, who yes, some of you know him, I know him, we bumped into each other when we've been having fun with Greenpeace and naughty people that we have to deal with. So we're not completely packing up, but we are slowing it down to give everybody a chance to recover from what's been 2 years of really hard work, and so that when you're needed, you come back and we've got the energy to do it. There is no speaker on the 7th of October or the 14th of October, deliberately so, because I for one will be going down to London on the Sunday for a couple of days at the start of the 2 weeks of XR rebellion in London, and I rather assume that quite a number of you might also go down either on the 7th or on the 14th. So keep a watch out. There will be less PNR updates coming, but whenever there is something, I will give you an alert. So having said all of that, I am very, very pleased to introduce yet another fun-loving criminal. All the way from Carlisle and Cumbria, we have Fiona here from Extinction Rebellion. She was with me when I was arrested on Lambeth Bridge, and I'm sorry to say that I wasn't with her when she was arrested in April. But she hasn't yet heard whether she's going to be prosecuted. I could say something that could actually land her in a little bit of trouble, but of course I wouldn't do that. So without further ado, can I pass you over to Fiona? If you put your hands together, please, for Fiona from XR Cumbria.
Hi everybody. Yeah, Fiona from Carlisle. I'm a member of Extinction Rebellion. I'm just going to talk to you as if you don't know what Extinction Rebellion is. So I'm going to tell you about my journey from living a life thinking that I was doing a really good job, left wing and green, and thinking about the environment, and totally ignorant about climate change. And then the journey that I've gone through quite rapidly over the last 12 months or so. So Extinction Rebellion, it's a mass non-violent social movement against climate change, biodiversity loss and ecological and social collapse. So this is my journey. So about 12 months ago, my son actually managed to get me to start listening to what he was learning about, and brought me down to Preston New Road to a demonstration. We walked along the road, I don't know if you remember, and I heard Tina give a talk back at the base.
Anybody else want to talk about blocking?
And I was absolutely bowled over and shocked, and from there I went home and researched. I researched fossil fuels.
Anybody want to tell me?
I read papers and I read books. Naomi Klein is absolutely fantastic. Jem Bendel, he's on the far edge of climate change. But I went to a talk by Jem Bendel and I cried all the way home. He's spoken here, I know, yeah. He really got me to open up my eyes. Mike Berners-Lee is another one. There Is No Planet B, another great book. And Joanna Macy, she writes about active hope. So that's got me through some dark times, reading her stuff. And I attended talks on the climate crisis, and I visited places like the Centre for Alternative Energy in demonstrations for many years, and they really sort of made me change my thoughts about being arrested. So by the time I got down to London, I thought, I am going to be on the road and I am going to be arrestable for moving at the time. And so I did. I wasn't arrested, but as Alan says, he was. And he survived, and it was perfectly okay. So that was part of my learning journey. And I knew that
do you want me to
for
stop
men,
recording?
I knew that I was willing to go quite far with this and be arrestable in the future.
Do you want me to stop? Just say stop and I'll stop.
Extinction Rebellion, why is it so successful?
Yeah, stop.
It's a non-violent
That's fine.
discipline.
Okay.
Absolutely
I understand that now,
non-violent.
but everybody was standing in front of the camera.
Yeah, we
and
don't
were
want
blocking
to
a
What does
message.
that mean?
Well, you didn't.
Non-violence, it means that
That's
we don't carry weapons.
Remember, you stopped the
we
message.
don't push, we don't punch, we don't fight or assert physical strength in any way. We're non-violent in the way that we speak to each other and to members of the public and to the police. We don't swear at the police or at passers-by that might be giving us the V sign, and we don't argue. We don't argue with the police, we don't argue with other members of the public. And in fact, we actively try to de-escalate any situations. At Marble Arch, and it was great fun. A couple of little anecdotes. I was sitting in Oxford Circus right in the middle of the road and blocking that hugely busy junction, and a man came up to us with a carrier bag with bottles of water and snacks and said, "This is for you." He said, "I've lived here for 30 years and..."
With all respect, I mean, they are video recording with that camera, so why have I got to stop? I understand you said...
We're not stopping you recording, Mark. You get on with doing what you want.
By John, that was all she'd asked for, so we weren't including anyone else. It might have been live streaming.
Yeah, just to let you know, I can record, but I will stop. I don't want to cause any animosities.
Mark,
But to be honest, it's a little bit ridiculous.
Mark, you you understand, don't you? You do understand.
I don't think you do.
No, we do.
Really, things that came from it. Another one was a friend of mine.
Do you know that thing, camera blocking? I won't do it to you.
Oh, that's
I
good.
don't give a flying fuck, to be honest.
Are you XR Rebellion?
There you go, there's a silly little man.
They swear a lot, don't they?
I don't give a shit.
Allegedly, I can't film them, but they're recording it themselves.
All right.
And I've stopped recording it because,
Why can't you record it?
to be honest, they didn't really want to say. Apparently, they've given permission to one person only. So I kindly enlightened them, but, you know, there's no law against it. But respectfully, I declined to carry on recording.
That's absolutely fine, but you got enough.
Well,
But
I
that
mean,
woman
they did.
there researched after she went onto that bridge at Extinction Rebellion, and that says it all. She researched why she was on that bridge.
Who was that?
That woman that's talking now. Who's talking? Yeah? So what it is with these people, and what he's doing now is over talking so you don't get a decent feed. Oh.
It's directional. Your voice is louder than his because it's direct.
Well, my point, no, I'm just waiting to see what's on a little bit further. Because the reason being is, to be so we're absolutely clear, the reason we're here is to stop Cuadrilla. It always has been that, before these people turned up. So for at least 7 years before then, we'd held this company up. Right? We've done it on every single level. And when I'm going on this here, I know exactly what I'm doing. Right? I'm doing it, putting a reasonable request to speak to the head of this company, Francis Egan, that's pulling in thousands of pounds even when this is not even working, right? So those mugs that are paying into this company, like British Gas that are paid into this company, they are funding a company that's set up to fail. So Francis Egan, right from the beginning when he started in 2012, I think it was, when he came here, he's been pulling money in every single day. When they weren't fracking, when they were causing the earthquakes, when they're on the moratorium, when they're on the moratorium now. Well, this is a type of moratorium, and that's what Francis Egan. And in all that time, he's been allowed to sit in a studio and not face anybody, not say some panel of us. MPs asking him the right questions. Well, it's this community and all these people here are living around here in fear now, and that's why I'm on this van today. To get him into a studio, hopefully Channel 4, if they've got the cojones to do it, and speak to him face to face with me and my experts. And let's see how long he lasts. It's all right doing a little bit of a one on Hard Talk, because that was set up. And even then he was crumbling. Francis Egan, you're a coward. I want you to face me in a studio. Channel 4, we're offering it to you now. If you don't go, you're the first offer. Because Jon Snow, I'm saying this to you now. We've got respect for Channel 4, respect for Jon Snow. We will get the job done. If you put this, you will make it happen. Because you want this country to be great again. You want to get the word out, and you want to get to the truth. I've got respect for him.
Tell me about the melon, the experiment you did with the melon.
Well, the melon, oh, that's interesting. I was down here to do an experiment, a Cuadrilla experiment. Now, Francis Egan said the earthquakes, various earthquakes were like dropping a melon, a bag of flour, or a bag of shopping. So I tried that out. But as many have seen on clown videos, filmed by John O'Connor, they tried to stop that. And they were pulling the trolley all over the place. It was merely a ruse. And then to ask Cuadrilla if the seismic monitors, because we've got 80 sites, we know about this because we were fighting in Lancashire County Council. The seismic monitors that are around could pick up a melon being dropped in the bell mouth, a bag of flour being dropped in the bell mouth, or a bag of shopping.
Has there been any results from that? Any seismic activity?
Well, I don't know yet. We're going to find out. He said he will send it me. It was actually done on what day we were on? Thursday, was it? What day was it? Friday. It's done on Friday between 3 and 4. So anybody can check. You go on Frack Free Filed, FYLDE, or if you go on Uniting the Roses, go to the top of the page, the BGS monitor's on there, and have a look at it. Check it with the BGS.
So let me get this straight. Francis Egan claims it's like dropping a melon.
It is.
When you dropped that melon just over there, you were close to it. Did you feel the earth move?
I didn't feel anything.
Right, okay. Anything else you want to say?
And then secondly, I did ask him how many melons or bags of shopping or bags of flour it would take to cause 2.9 magnitude. And that question was left with him. All right, so if we're going to use that, then let's see how many bags. Will it be a tanker? Will it be, because it goes up by 100, right, when you do the measurements. And also the feeling of 0.6, because that's what the feeling was 0.6, and that's what the BGS said. So how many melons would you have to drop to cause that amount of earthquake tremor? All right, and that's why I'm on here.
Is there any kind of end time you've got planned, or?
We're still negotiating at the moment.
All right.
So that's what we're doing. Like I said, everything I do is a reasonable request. The first reasonable request is, and we'll expand on that, right? The first reasonable request is to speak to Francis Egan. The second one is to have traffic monitoring down here, because they've got 20 miles sign down at the bottom of the road there. And many times people are whizzing down, even the police have had to stop them. We need to have the police down here doing their job and keeping this community safe. That's only one thing. But right now I'm doing this to keep our community safe.
Has anybody from the site come to speak to you about this?
Briefly, they're having a word now. So we've not negotiated anything yet, so we're in the process.
And do you know where Francis Egan, have you been told where he is at this time?
Francis Egan is normally at Bamber Bridge, he's got offices there. The last time I spoke to him, he called the police in and he got escorted to a cab. He would rather do that than speak to me face to face. Why won't he speak to somebody that knows what they're talking about? Why won't he speak to somebody whose house he damaged on April 1st, 2011? And he's been fighting his company ever since. And we almost stopped him before the first frack. I think that's why he won't talk to me face to face.
Well, that's a reasonable question.
Yeah,
and I can understand why you might be pushed.
What about, Professor Smythe, our experts, not the company's puppet professors that are up there. That's why I'm on this van now. Why would people responding outside point out Section 35? Why would they do that?
I'm not sure what Section 35 is. Can you just tell me what Section 35 is?
Section 35 itself sets out our officers with reasonable grounds and direct people to leave and not return up to 48 hours.
So that sign, they pointed it to you because they want you to leave. When you're doing a lock-on, or a sit-on, whatever, just like they do.
Yeah.
But why do they not agree with you doing it, but they sanction it when they do it?
Because they're industry, they're not. They are people that are rather to be controlled or paid by industry or the government. And that's what I'm out in.
So what you're saying is they orchestrate the lock-ons for PR?
Exactly, PR. In fact, I just said that down there. It down said there was zero arrests and zero injunction breaking. Zero. And he said, but we've got a lot of publicity. He actually said that on recording. When we get the recording later on, he's actually said that on recording. Dick Dandy of Rosington and Greenpeace and Green Party and Frankfurt Lancashire have actually said on down there that there was zero arrests and zero injunction breaking. Zero. But we've got a lot of PR out of it. And it's a higher fault that he brought in. That's what I'm saying to you. So anything that's wrong with me today, and they get away with it, then we know exactly what the real position is down here. They are the ones that forced people away. We were ready to go in 2017. This lot here came in. That boy was one of them. Closed our meeting down when we were ready to close the site legally with the numbers.
I'm not sure how much of that I can hear because the engine's a bit noisy.
It's fine. I'll tell you what.
I was just about to say all that is.
To me, I'd say that was a summary arrest. Just, taking the details. But
signed by my court, 1408 hours, and at this time you're under arrest on suspicion of criminal damage, section 241 of the Trade Unions Act, and also section 137 of the Highways Act. So you do not have to say anything, but it may have your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you will apply in court. Anything you do say is okay. So you're currently under arrest, as soon as I facilitate your okay.
Could this be dealt with as a summary offence, where you can just take his details rather than arrest him? Because obviously you know who he is. Could it be dealt with without arresting him?
It's not my decision. I'm not the arresting officer, so it's not my decision to make that.
Right.
I mean, all offences technically could be dealt with by a voluntary attendance interview, okay? But there are certain criteria that may prevent us from doing that. But as I'm not the arresting officer, then it's not my decision to make. Black and right, I don't know what that is. No.
It's a dark blue police van, isn't it?
Is
In
it?
the olden days.
Oh,
Before your time.
yeah, before my time, that I'm afraid.
Gayzer, is that the arresting officer?
It is.
Is there no way you can deal with this without arresting, just as a summary offence, rather than inconvenience?
To you, sir. I've already explained it to him. Leave it at that.
Okay. Any last words?
Freedom.
Head office. Anyone does it finish today?
Anything like to say? Last words before I go?